Hello, today I'm going to show you a 10 cinematic shot you can capture with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for epic footage, no matter your location. This will give you more variety in your video sequence and your video will look more professional. I will guide you in every step of capturing the shot and how to do the setting in the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for best result. For the shot number one, this will be a simple movement that is super easy to do. The push in, pull out, or the dolly shot, you can achieve this with a smooth and stable movement and walking slowly in the direction of the subject to reveal the scene with the camera while keeping it level, or by physically pushing or putting the camera in your hand. But before you hit record, you should confirm that the camera is set in 4K at 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second, depending of your region, to have cinematic motion blur in the video. To help to keep the subject in position you want in the frame, you can enable the grid line. To do this, swipe down from the top of the Pocket 3 screen to bring up the control menu and then select the setting icon. In the next menu, you want to scroll all the way down until you see the reference line setting and then select the grid option to turn it on. Next, I will set the gimbal speed to slow and the mode to follow. With the joystick, I set the subject at the position I want in the frame in reference with the grid line. The last thing you should check is your lens are not dirty, because a dirty lens will give bad result in your video. It's always better to shut off the gimbal before to clean it. Now I can hit record and lock the camera by holding the joystick. This will prevent the camera from drifting as I push forward. Now I just have to walk forward in the direction of the subject to have a professional looking shot. You can also do the same thing by walking backward from the subject to achieve a pullback shot. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment my video. This will be very appreciated. Thank you. The drone shot is the number two. This is another easy one that will add a lot of value to your footage. First, I will set the gimbal mode to tilt locked mode. This will keep the horizon level and will help to keep the shot steady while moving. When you are doing this, be very careful and check if the two pins that hold the extension of the gimbal are fully locked in place on the Pocket 3. Sometimes only one is locked and the gimbal could detach in the air and could fall. This could be a disaster, so always double check before raising the gimbal in the air. Press the joystick twice to center the gimbal. After, you can adjust the tilt to have the desired angle. Raise the gimbal as high as you can and walk slowly in the direction of the subject and try to avoid any unwanted movement of the gimbal. If you have a selfie stick, you can add it to the gimbal. This will look more like a bird's eye view, and if there is object in the foreground, the shot will have more a 3D dimensional perspective. Now we are ready for the punch up. For this shot, I will move the camera smoothly from left to right or vice versa to showcase a wide landscape or introduce a new scene. To do this, first I will set the gimbal in tilt lock mode to keep the horizon level. I will point the Pocket 3 camera in direction of the subject, adjust the tilt, and move the camera from left to right or right to left depending of the situation. Another variation is to hold the Pocket 3 on the side and walk slowly in the direction I want the shot. This is very good to show the horizontal perspective of the subject. You should try to avoid any up and down movement because the gimbal does not stabilize these movements. You should use the ninja walk. Now the tilt-up reveal. For this shot, I set the gimbal in follow mode. I will start with the camera pointing down, then tilt upward to reveal a stunning scene or person. The key is to tilt upward at a moderate pace, slow enough to build anticipation, but fast enough to keep the viewer engaged. This technique is used in a lot of movies to create dramatic reveal. Shot number 5, the slider reveal. This shot will work perfectly when you have a subject out of view and you move slowly to reveal the main subject to the viewer. First, you need to look around your location to find something in front of the subject you want to capture. Before you start filming, you need to change the focus mode of the Pocket 3 to single. This will allow us to lock the focus on the main subject. Also, I will set the gimbal mode to tilt lock. This will keep the camera level during the recording. Now I lock the focus on the main subject by tapping on the screen where I want the focus. I move the gimbal behind the first subject and slide slowly and steady from right to left or left to right, depending on the situation, to reveal the main subject. With the focus in single, when you are behind the first subject, the image is blurred, and when you reveal the main subject in focus, with no abrupt change in the focus, this looks more better and professional. The orbit shot, this will create a smooth circular motion around your subject. Great for showcasing a project, person, or anything you want to highlight. I choose a distance of the subject. I set the gimbal in tilt lock mode. This will keep the horizon in level. With the Pocket 3 pointing in direction of the subject, I tap 2 times on the screen to enable the tracking. I hit record, and I will walk slowly and steady around the subject, keeping it in the middle of the screen. The spin shot is a creative feature that allows the camera to rotate horizontally while you are pushing forward your subject while you're capturing your footage. This results in creative footage by adding a dynamic, smooth rotational movement that enhances visual and storytelling, provide a unique and engaging perspective. The best part is using the Pocket 3 is super easy to do. First, you want to tap the Smart Gimbal Mode button on the left side of the screen and then select the last option on the bottom to enter in the spin shot mode. Here you can choose between 90-degree or 180-degree gimbal rotation. I recommend choosing the latter option for the most movement. Then hold the Pocket 3 horizontally, pointing toward the subject, hit record, start walking slowly and smoothly in direction of the subject, then hit the joystick button to start the rotation of the gimbal. This will result in this incredibly creative and engaging clip that will spice up your sequence. I prefer to start the rotational movement while recording and moving. This will help to have better result. Also, to level up the result, you can try to keep the main subject in the middle of the grid line. This will give a result more professional. Okay, shot number 8. Now I will change the Pocket 3 as a camera operator. I will show you how I can track myself. This is super handy and I use it very often as a solo filmmaker. First, you need to set up the Pocket 3 on a tripod to hold it. For this, you can use any kind of tripod, including the one that comes with the Creator Combo. Next, I will set the Pocket 3 in selfie mode by tapping 3 times on the joystick. This will allow to see the screen to help to frame the shot. Next, I just double tap on myself on the screen to start the camera tracking on me. Hit record and then start walking in the direction I want for my shot. As a top tip, I recommend moving in one single direction at a consistent pace. This will result in a nice smooth camera movement, such as in this case where I am walking from right to left in the frame. Avoid walking in random directions, stopping or moving around at different speed because the camera will making a lot of different movement to keep you centered. This doesn't look very good and professional. So when using tracking mode to capture yourself, always remember one single direction at a consistent pace and you will be blown away by the result. Shot number 9, the vertical crane shot. This will give another fantastic perspective for the viewer that they don't see very often. To start, we need to find a wall or a subject where we can get the Pocket 3 very close to it. I will use this wall as a model. I start very low, and now I will start to move slowly as close to the wall than possible. And I will go higher than I can. This type of clip works very well for capturing architecture and definitely one you must try. Okay, shot number 10, down the shot, are a great way to add drama and interest to your video. By shooting from low angle, you can make subject appear larger and more imposing. This is another straightforward technique that harnesses the power of capturing a perspective your audience rarely see. To do this, I set the gimbal in follow mode, then I press the joystick 3 times to switch in selfie mode. Like this, I'll be able to see the screen. Now I will turn the Pocket 3 upside down and put it close to the ground. You have to be careful to not touch the ground because the gimbal is very fragile and we don't want to damage it. Next, I hit record and start moving the camera slowly forward or backward in direction of the subject, depending on the situation. To avoid tricky movement, I recommend moving the gimbal with your arm. If you want to do more artistic movement, you can adjust the angle of the camera with the joystick. And if you have some foreground object passing by the camera, this will give depth to the scene. So now you have 10 creative shots you can do with the Osmo Pocket 3. This will help you to create more varied video and unique and interesting video sequence. The next time you will be in location, if you are using only a few of these tricks, this will improve a lot your video and make them more professional. Now, if you would like to see my video with the best setting you must change for cinematic video on your new DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I highly recommend watching by clicking up here or by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!